I'm Todd Schrupp with the Thanksgiving week edition of Beyond 140. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that my handle is @ToddTVG. If you don't, what are you doing? Join me on Twitter @ToddTVG. I always like your questions and comments, no matter the day. But sometimes when 140 characters is not enough, we have this, Beyond 140, on the TVG YouTube channel, where I can take as much time as I like on your questions and comments. Got a lot of them this week. I couldn't get to all of them in this segment. I hope if I didn't get to yours this week, you'll resubmit for a following week. Our first one comes up from Lloyd Levin. Your favorite holiday to bet on horses? For me, it's Thanksgiving. It was a family tradition to drive to Laurel Park. Lloyd, that's a tremendous question. I have to say, very selfishly, I love betting on New Year's Day. Why? I've had my most success on New Year's Day. There's also something about the mindset for a horse player at the start of a new year. You forget about all those bad beats the previous year. So my favorite holiday, far and away, is New Year's Day, because I've had the most success then, and I also am in a good frame of mind looking ahead and being optimistic to the year that is in front of me. Very, very good question. Scott Riley sends in for Beyond 140. Are you taking a shot in the Kentucky Derby future wager pool, which starts on Friday? If so, whom? I'll be honest with you, I'm not. I have played the future wagers before, not in that parimutuel system that you're talking about, but I've played it in Las Vegas, and one of my best success stories was Grindstone. I got him for 20-1 in the Kentucky Derby. What did I get all the months later on Grindstone in the Kentucky Derby? 5-1. So I only improved about 15 points. Also think about Giacomo, the year that he upset in the Kentucky Derby. He was probably a better price for most people that day than he was in the future book pool. So I'm not big into the future wager, so I'm taking this one to Texas, the Kentucky Derby future wager this year, El Paso. Next question coming in is from the Majestic. 3 horses on your early Kentucky Derby radar. Well, one thing that was very clear in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, which was a decent field this year, is that the California horses, certainly the 2-year-old form, head up. That's not to say that the East Coast horses won't play a factor. Obviously, they will. They had to come all the way out to Santa Anita, and in the backyard of the California horses were up against it. But monitoring American Pharoah is obviously key. There is also another California horse that I saw the day after the Breeders' Cup, and that was Dortmund. Very impressive debut for trainer Bob Baffert, son of Big Brown, out of a Tail of the Cat mare. Those would be 2 horses. The third spot I would leave open at this point. After all, we are talking about late November, looking ahead to the first Saturday in May. Nick McMacken sends in, what trainer has the most to be thankful for this year? We just mentioned Dortmund, a possible horse for the Kentucky Derby for trainer Bob Baffert. I would say that in 2014, yes, Bob Baffert has a lot to be thankful for. Why? Think about it. At the beginning of the year, the best horse in his barn was Game On Dude. And then he gets towards the end of the year, and now Game On Dude retires, and you look ahead to what he has and the rise of Byron, who then wins the Breeders' Cup Classic and was held up in a controversial decision. Something about Bob Baffert, he always reemerges. He has a lot to be thankful for. On the subject of Thanksgiving, Drew Trommer sends in, do you mix your stuffing and potatoes? Clearly, I mix a lot and eat a lot. And yeah, there is something about mixing the stuffing with potatoes. Occasionally, I'll put a little cranberry in there just to get a little wild. And then our final question on Beyond 140 for the Thanksgiving edition comes in from Mark Ben Ruby. How cool is it being you, meaning me, Todd Schrupp? I have to tell you, it is a great life, especially if you love to play the horses and the fact that I don't have to pay for a racing form. I don't know how you guys do it. I would be out stacks if I had to play for a racing form over the last 25 years. But aside from that, the greatest part about being me and going to the racetrack is meeting you, the horse players and the TVG viewers. Thank you very much for everything you give me throughout the year, your feedback, even your criticism at times. So I hope you had a great Thanksgiving holiday, and I hope you'll join us for a future edition of Beyond 140.